In the webinar you're about to watch, we talk all about prospecting. Now, not just for salespeople who are prospecting a lot, but for anybody that's reaching out to someone that doesn't expect your email. We know that's hard. We know that the numbers and the percentages show that cold outreach can be very difficult, but how can video help that? How can video help you get your face in front of the people you need, increase your open rates, get that value across, and ultimately build the trust that's needed for somebody to respond to you? Take a look. Well, hello. Welcome everybody to today's webinar. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I know it's been a little bit of a break, but we are so excited. Good morning. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your Thursday here. I know we normally do these on Wednesdays, but we're switching it up a little bit this month. So really excited. I'm going to give it a few minutes to let everybody kind of keep jumping in here while we take a minute and just kind of go through some of the housekeeping stuff. So a couple of things. One, yes, we are recording this. We will absolutely make sure that we send a follow-up recording so that you'll have access to this. And we're going to go over a lot of information. So don't stress if you miss something or if we forget something. We'll make sure we send that out to you. And I'll also send you a copy of the deck that we use so you can review any of the content that we go over. Two, we always want this to be a time that we communicate and that we share and that we talk. This isn't just Kevin talking head for an hour. So I want to make sure that we really communicate with each other in two ways. One, chat. If you want to open up the chat here, I'll go ahead and check the settings, make sure that we're able to chat with everyone. Perfect. We're good to go. All right. So go ahead and throw where you're joining us from. We always love seeing kind of where everybody's hopping in. While everybody keeps loading in, chat is going to be a great place because we have an amazing community, amazing group of people that are using Bomb in a lot of ways, especially when we're talking about prospecting like we are today. They're going to come up with a lot of ideas, a lot of things, what's working, what's not. So throw those chats in there. Now, I also want to make sure I don't miss your questions. And I know a lot of questions are going to come up, especially today. We got a lot of cool stuff to cover. So that's where the QA is going to come into play. Now, I may not be able to answer all of that as we go. I will try to schedule some times to kind of review through that and answer some things, but I've got time scheduled for the end of this that we will go over Q&A, and I'll stay long if we need to try and get as many of those questions answered as we possibly can. So those are kind of the big things. And yes, just to confirm again, we are going to definitely be recording this. So keep your eyes open for that. So what are we talking about today? Video prospecting, right? Everybody out here probably to some degree has to prospect. Now, I know if you're sitting in kind of a standard sales environment, a sales seat, then prospecting is pretty defined. It's a pretty standard thing of I'm reaching out, I'm doing lots of messages a day, I'm reaching out to people that are not expecting it. But I know we also have a lot of people in industries that are not necessarily as defined as that. And I want you to continue to think today, prospecting for me is I'm reaching out to somebody who doesn't know me as well or doesn't know me at all, and they're not expecting my message. Think about prospecting in that way. I think if we keep that in mind, then we're going to find some really beneficial stuff that will help you. Here's how we're going to cover that and how we're going to go over that. Our agenda today, one, what are some just standard challenges in prospecting? I think we all feel them. I think we probably all have some gut results of what we think those challenges are, but I'm curious. So we're going to pull up some stats. We're just going to reiterate why this is a tough gig, why this is a tough action to really make beneficial. Then we're going to go over why video helps in this, why video works in prospecting, and go over those pieces. And then I think I've learned more and more in sales and with everybody here that when you're using video, it can be more effective, but that doesn't mean it can kill our workflow. It has to be efficient. So we're going to go over some efficiency, some integration. We're going to give you a formula of exactly how you can start to think about videos and use those so that you're not guessing every time. And then, like I mentioned there at the end, we're going to have some time for Q&A. So we're going to make sure that we throw that in there. So let's go ahead and jump in because I always want to make sure I'm as conscious of your time as I possibly can be. And I'm going to move my light so I can actually see the clock here. Let's go ahead and start naming some of the challenges. So challenge number one when it comes to prospecting is communication clutter. There's a lot of emails going on in the world. There's a lot going on that we have to fight through. And if somebody doesn't know us, they're less likely to open our email, right? So here's a quick question, and go ahead and throw these in chat because I'm just curious what your answers are. How many cold emails do you think will be sent each and every day in 2025? All right, I'll repeat that so you can kind of throw in your answer. How many cold emails do you think will be sent each day in 2025? Millions, billions. We got somebody with billions. Okay, that's good to know. We got millions, thousands, hundreds, thousands. Perfect. We've got a whole gamut of different answers. When I saw this number, I was shocked, and I think you guys will be as well. 376 billion cold emails are sent every single day. Oh my gosh. Like take that in for just a second. We all sit here and we know we get a lot of emails that we don't want. Totally. I think the average American gets over 120 emails a day that we get to deal with. So this is worldwide, but 376 billion. If this doesn't define, oh my gosh, there's a lot of junk, a lot of clutter, a lot of digital pollution out there that we have to fight through to get our valuable content sent, I don't know what does. This is really, really challenging. And we want to benefit from our emails filtering things out and blocking things. From a recipient side, we like that those pieces are in place. But when we're trying to be the one sending, we want to make sure that our content is actually getting where it's supposed to go. That's really challenging when we're fighting through this much different stuff. All right, another question. What percentage of cold emails do you think get ignored? Right? So if you're thinking about the opposite way, how many get engaged with, I want you to kind of focus here and start to think what percentage of cold emails actually just get ignored completely? Oh, 99%, 98%. There we go. 85%. Okay, so a lot. We have high percentages, high numbers in that. All right, so the data shows that 70 to 90% of all cold emails are deleted or ignored without ever being opened. So now we're framing this. We've got a lot of emails going out, and not many of them are really getting opened. So I can't do math on what's 30% of 376 billion, but it's a low number that are actually getting opened. That just means there's so much junk that nobody wants, and people are just going delete, get it out of my face. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to have to kind of fight my way through this. Okay, a lot of clutter. All right, last one for this. What percentage of cold emails do you think actually result in a sale? So now there's a lot of emails, few of them get opened. What if those actually convert to an actual sale? 1%, okay, 1%, 5%, 4%, 3%. Okay, so our guts are in the right place. Our heart on what we think the truth of this is, I think are absolutely in the right place. We're looking at a 2% result of cold emails actually result in a sale. This is not a great system. This is not a good play. We all know the sales funnel, and people are just going, I got to dump as many people on the top as I can to try to get a few returns. However, what if we think about this in kind of a flip different way where how many people are we upsetting and are we annoying just to try to get to this 2%? It's not a great effective system. And yet we don't know how else to do it. So we kind of play in it. We are part of the problem. We are part of this prospecting problem where there's so much communication clutter. However, when we sit here and go, I do have value. I'm trying to provide value. I want people to know that I'm reaching out purposefully and that I have something that could be beneficial for them. How do we fight through all of this? This is problem number one, right? Now, there's a quote here from Wes Schaefer, who wrote The Sales Whisperer, a great sales book if you want to look into it. And his quote is, as a daily recipient of cold email, I can assure you it is worse than ever. The winner in this space is the one who can add more humanity to their cold outreach by remembering they are trying to connect with and persuade a human. One of the things we have focused on with Bomb Bomb Forever is how do we humanize this? How do we remember that I'm not just sending an email to check it off the list, or I'm not trying to get a million people on my list so I can send it out and blast it out to a ton of people? It's how do I remember there's another person on the other side of this that needs this message and starting to think about what do they need? What is the reason that they should be opening and evaluating this email? That's what we got to start to think through and fight through. All right, challenge number 2. People don't want more text. Now, what do I mean by that? People don't want to read more. People are showing us with their actions they want to engage with video. All right, so let's do a few more of these. And I promise the whole webinar is not going to be this way, but I like getting your input. I like hearing if we're kind of on the same page. Here's a question. What percentage of consumers say they'd rather learn about a product via video over any other format? Okay, I want to watch a video to learn about a product or a service way more than I want to learn. What percentage of people do you think actually acknowledge and said that? Okay, 60%, 50%, 80%, all of them. Okay, there's some funny ones. Eddie, thank you for that. 72% of people reported, literally filled out a survey saying, I would rather learn about a product via video than any other format. I think this number is probably low because there's a lot of people that don't respond one way or the other. And I think we internally and psychologically still would rather engage with the video. Why is that? Well, I've a story myself. I'm literally getting ready to do some work on my car. I've got an older car. She's a 2003. She's a CRV. She's still cranking, but I got a quote. I need to replace some cooling fans on things, right? $700 quote from the auto body shop to do this. Well, I went on YouTube and I found a video of somebody literally walking through the exact steps of my model, my car to replace this exact fan. I bought the fan. It's like a $89 part that I bought. And it's going to be about an hour and a half of work for me to do this. Am I a mechanic? Do I have any business jumping in and trying to do this process? No. But video provides this element where we're communicating with people in their different learning styles. People are audible. They hear, they like to listen to learn. Some people are visual. I like to see to learn. The other one is kinesthetic, which means I like to do to learn. I like to be in the middle of it. Video gives all of those different learning styles the opportunity to do that. When we're walking somebody through a product, showing somebody a service, they feel like they're kind of walking through that with us. Everybody's going to absorb and take in a heck of a lot more of that content. All right, here's another one. How much more do you think video is shared than text and image online? Right? How much more shared is video content than text and image content online? Throw a number out. Okay. 80%, 90%, 85, 70. Yeah, like we've got some high numbers in that. This number seems fake. 1200%. I almost don't even believe it because like how do I even fathom that number? What I want you to absorb from this is just go, people are sharing video more than anything else. Why? Because they're watching it, they're learning from it because of those learning styles, they're absorbing more, they're finding more value in the video, which means they're more likely to push it on to the people that they think might need to see it as well. So not only are we fighting through kind of the communication clutter because there's so much content, there's so much that we have to fight through in the world. People are showing us with their actions they want more video, they want less text, they don't want to read. Look at social media right now. If you watch somebody scroll on social media, they scroll, video, stop and watch. Scroll, video, stop and watch. Why do you think reels are such a massive thing on Instagram? Why do you think TikTok is such a powerful thing? It's all video. This is how people are showing us with their actions they want to engage. So I'm going to throw a few more stats up there. Thank you for playing along with me and having fun with that. But I just want to show you some stuff that just reiterates that video is what people are asking for and wanting, right? So many digital video viewers worldwide. 17 average hours of video contained a week or watched a week. I have had people who look at that when I've presented this before and they've gone 17 amateurs, right? So yeah, we're watching a lot of video and people are more likely to consume, more likely to learn, more likely to share. What's interesting from a marketing perspective is we look at this and also go, people are saying, wow, this is working. This is more effective. 300% higher ROI over generic emails. That's worth it, right? 89% of consumers claim a video literally persuaded a buying decision. That is massively important for us to know. That if we're trying to promote a product, or if we're promoting ourselves, a lot of you are your own product. We are a service that we provide. If we are trying to promote that, almost 90% of people say that seeing a video helped them make that buying decision and were persuaded. 9x higher retention rate. All of these are really just kind of reinforcing the stuff that we've talked about. We're fighting through a lot of junk. We want to bring clarity because our clients are wanting to watch video, and this is why. So let's look at an example of this, right? So here's just a text email. You can see I just wrote it out. There's kind of a screenshot on the right, but look at the left. Read through that and talk to me and just kind of think through when I read that, what do I take in? What do I absorb? For me, when I'm looking at this, and I'm making sure that I'm sharing my sound and things for when I play a video for you in a second here. This is pretty standard. This looks like a lot of the emails that I receive. Cold emails. This one says my name, so they at least took the time to personalize, or they have a CRM that threw the name in there. Okay, so let's just kind of take a look at that and absorb that, right? Now, let's compare that to what if that was a video? How would that feel differently? So watch this video, take it in, and tell me kind of if something feels a little more different or you take in more on this video itself.
Hey Elliot, my name is Devin Bridges and I work here at BombBomb, so it's nice to meet you. I'm reaching out because I know you believe that you have an amazing team of sales professionals and you have invested your time and energy in finding that team and making sure that they're equipped with the best tools and processes for their success. So that being said, if you believe that your team is your best asset, then video plus email is right for you. We want to make sure that they can come across in their emotion and that empathy can come across, and plain text just can't do that. What I'd love to do is set up a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call to discuss where and if this can fit into your team's process. So let me know what time works best for you. Look forward to hearing from you soon and hope you're having a great day.
How many of you, when you were actually looking at this written out version of this email, saw the name Devin and assumed it was a guy? I initially think of Devin as a male name. Why? I don't know. Is that right? No, those are just the assumptions I'm putting on things. And this is what we have to start to think about. People are going to put their own assumptions, their own life experience on this text. Why? Because we're not giving them the added context to it. Versus when I actually pop this up and play this video of Devin here, and I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing, but you see it there. Now I see a human. I see a person. I see my name on it, and that's interesting. Okay, she's handwritten it. That's cool. This is going to get me to engage. She's talking about me, but I'm seeing a real person. This is the power of video versus text on these simple videos. Now you can see 38 seconds, nice short. That's what we're going to do with prospecting. But it shows them you. It helps with all the nonverbal elements you can't get from the text. You get eye contact. Ultimately, the reason this is powerful is because it's building the relationship, it's letting them get to know you, and it's building trust. People do not make buying decisions without trust. You have to establish that. And the quicker we can start to formulate that in the initial prospecting email, the less emails we have to send, the less communication back and forth, the less we have to fight through that communication clutter because now they know us and they're building that relationship and that trust. Ultimately, all of this plays into here's why video is more effective. We have seen, and we've done these tests directly, this correlation of when you take video versus text, it improves when you put a video in an email. 81% higher open rate is increased when you put a video in there. Because of that, because we're getting people into more of our content, now our conversion rate down the line is improving because they're in more, they're seeing us, they're building that trust, they're building all of that content. That's what I want you to see and why video is going to be impactful for you when you're looking at this as a viable piece for prospecting. Let's finish off with this quote here, and then we're going to jump into, some of the actionable things, the technical things that you can use. If people like you, they'll listen to you. But if they trust you, they'll do business with you. This is Zig Ziglar. I'm sure you've all heard that name before, well known in the business community. If they don't like you, they're not going to choose business with you. For those of you that are in real estate, a mortgage lending, any sort of sales, this is the biggest purchase they will ever make in their life. If they don't trust you, they're not going to want you to walk them through that. If you're trying to sell them a product, maybe the product actually solves what they need. If they don't trust you that it's actually going to follow through and do it the way that you're telling them, they're not buying it from you. They're not going to give you their money. We have to build that trust. We have to establish these things with people, or they're not going to move forward with us. Okay. So this is why it's impactful. They are more likely to watch video. That's going to help us cut through that communication clutter. It's going to help them absorb more info. And the info that they're absorbing is us. The value that we provide, but also us as humans and as with our personality and with all those pieces. All right, so now I'm a firm believer that in order for any of this to work, it has to really integrate into your systems. We know that if you are just trying to send, a video and it takes you 10 to 15 minutes to be able to do that, that's not going to be effective. That's not going to be something that fits into your workflow. And so that's what I want to jump into next is how BombBomb is going to really be able to help you from an integration and efficiency standpoint. So I'm going to put the link in here to all of our integrations. So let me find that BombBomb link and I will throw that in your chat. So for those of you that are curious if it integrates with your CRM or different systems or things, you can go ahead and look at this reference and this website, and it will tell you if it does or not. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to personalize and touch on every CRM that we have here that everybody might need. So these are the ones that I want to focus on. You can see I've got Outlook and Gmail, how it connects to your email inbox. And then I'm also going to show you our Chrome extensions here, our Chrome extension and our Edge extension. These are ones that will fit into your browser because I think these are places of it just needs to be effective where you live. So let's talk about that. Let's show you that a little bit here. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump over. I'm going to log into my Gmail with you real quick and show you exactly what this looks like once you've got it set up. So when you go to compose a new email here, you can see I've got my BombBomb button down here now. When I hover over it, it actually turns into a live record button. We do give you tracking as well as video library. If you want to grab an existing video that's living in your workspace, you can do that. Otherwise, when you click that record button, you can see here the BombBomb recorder just automatically pops up and it's going to immediately load. So basically what we can do is if we're responding to a client and we need to reply back to them, we've got our recorder here. All you have to do is click the record button. We get our 3-second countdown. As soon as we get our flash here, that's when we're live recording. And that first 3 seconds is actually going to be the animated preview that shows up in the email. So we want to be intentional with that. If you want to hold somebody's name up, you can use a whiteboard, you can use a sticky note. I've even got an app here. Let me see if I can pull it up for an example. of where you can write somebody's name. If we're doing the personalized videos to a new lead or a potential prospect, right? We want to show them visually that this is just for them. This is not a generic piece of content. So you can hold this up for the first 3 seconds, wave, have movement, and then as you keep talking, you put that down. You don't need to hold it up the entire time. So once we've gotten all of our information across, we save it there. Now, an additional feature that BombBomb provides that I highly recommend you use is this CTA button. The CTA button is going to be really, really powerful, excuse me, because it allows you to put a call to action button in your video itself. So for those of you that are looking to schedule time on your calendar or have them take the next step that way, you can literally type out what you want on the button, and then you can put in the link here that you want to use, right? So I'm just going to put Google as an example and save that. Once we've done that, we've now got our button in here and we can save this video. Now, because we started in Gmail, it's automatically going to save that video into our Gmail email. And now the rest of it is exactly what you normally do in your email. So you can type the text here, if I can type, and you can add all of the content around here. Always add text. We're always going to have a few sentences above that are going to draw to the video play, and then a few sentences below that are going to have our call to action again, as well as any of the most valuable pieces in this video. So we're going to have all of that. I want to show you real quick here. If I open and play this video, I want to show you exactly what that CTA looks like. So after 5 seconds of the video plays is when you're going to see that button pop up here. And now they can engage with it. They can use it, mention it in your video, point to it in your video. We want to audibly mention it. We want to have it here, and we want to have it in the email itself. So that gives you kind of an idea when you're using Gmail of how you can literally launch the recorder, save it, send it out, and never leave Gmail at all from that standpoint. Now, the other piece I want to show you here is Outlook. For those of you that are Outlook users, I want to show you what this process looks like in Outlook. So when I go to compose a new email, you'll see I've got my little BombBomb option up here. And essentially what this is we're adding an add-in. So we have an add-in that's built into Outlook. So you can go in here and search for BombBomb, add it in, and go from there. And then when you open this, you can see it changes the panel on the right here. Again, we give you your video workspace. So you've got all your videos. We give you tracking so you can see who's opened, who's clicked, who's been watching my videos. That's really pivotal when it comes to prospecting as well, because we want to respond to people when they're engaging with the content. So if I've sent you a video and I've sent you an email and I see that you open and I see that you're clicking play, I want to make sure that I'm calling you at that moment. Think about this. You don't want to be reaching out to a potential prospect when they're making dinner for their kids, when they're at a soccer game, when they're doing something, working, right? That is not going to open them up to being available to open my email or call them at this time. For so many of you, getting them on the phone is the pivot. That is the most pivotal thing we can do. That's the best case scenario. Well, they're not going to answer the phone if they're in the middle of something. So if I can look here and see, oh my gosh, they just played my video 1 minute ago, I'm going to shoot you a call. I know you're more likely to be engaging with that because you just watched it. But if you want to record, same process as Gmail. You can either record your screen or you can record yourself, and it's going to launch that here. And you can see the process is exactly what we just did in Gmail. It just opens up in a little bit different way. So we click record. I'll even pull it up to use as an example here. Hey, Don, it is Kevin here from BombBomb. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you because I was looking at your website and saw blah, blah, blah. We go on with our information. As soon as we're done, we hit the space bar there to stop it. And now we've got that kind of approval page, that next step in the process. This is where we can toggle on our CTA and add that piece. Once we're happy with it, we go ahead and click save here. And what that's going to allow us to do is now it's going to kind of reload the screen and give us a button that says insert into your Outlook. When I go ahead and click that, you'll see by the time I pop back over here to Outlook, the video is already there. And now it's just like Gmail. You add the text in, you add all the things around it and send it off. But you can see this preview now has that personalization, and it's got my face, it's got the movement, all the things that are going to help us get the video engagement there. So do we have any questions about that? I know Jared Watson, Jared, thank you, hopped in and is answering a bunch of questions, but it looks like most of them are just, how do I actually get this in? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight, and I will chat and share the links to set these up so that you can add those in and find those. And here's instructions and great support articles on how to do that. So look for those in the chat itself. Now, the other areas that I wanted to show you was our extensions. Now, I am in Chrome, so I'm going to show you our Chrome extension, but our Edge extension looks almost identical if you use your Edge browser. Now, The way for you to be able to determine, is this something that works for me, is what do I click on to actually access the internet? That's the browser you use. If you see a logo that looks, I'll bring these back up like this, you use Google Chrome, you can do that. If yours looks like this, use Edge, great. There are a lot of other browsers out there, and they unfortunately are not supported with our extensions that we have here. But let me show you these if you use one of those. When you add it in, it puts our little BombBomb logo up here with all of the other extensions that we have. When I pop that open, you're going to see very, very similar features, similar things to what you're used to. We've got the record self, record screen, we've got our video library, we've got our tracking, all of that stuff is accessible. And now it doesn't matter what website I'm on, whether I'm on a social media or I'm logged into my CRM or I'm anywhere, I can go from this point forward. So we'll click record yourself, and you're going to see a really, really similar process. So I probably don't need to talk you through all of the aspects of this, but you can see the recorder is identical from Google, from Outlook, from all of these places. We try to keep it really cohesive so that you can hop in and record and send. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, and I'm not going to walk through the whole process. Well, yeah, let's walk through it and just kind of show you. One thing to think about as you're recording is the length of time this video should be. Do you guys have any guesses? Throw them in chat if you think. My rule, 60 seconds or less. With prospecting videos specifically, you have to be under 1 minute. Why? Because we're going to put a banner on there that's going to tell people how long it is. We need to use that to our advantage. There is testing we've done that if you have a video that says play this 59-second video versus it play a 1 minute video, as soon as it goes over that 1 minute number, that 60 seconds, it's going to say 1 minute. Just a recipient seeing minute versus seconds, they're going to play it less. You will get more plays if it says 58 seconds versus 1 minute. It's just psychological. We all think, oh yeah, I've got 58 seconds. I don't know about a minute. I got a lot of stuff to do, right? It's funny how we work as humans. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about the length of your video. So I'll go ahead and stop this here. And then again, we can add the CTA, same process, but I'm going to save it. And I want to show you how it looks a little different in the extension because the extension is not connected to your email directly. So now we have to choose where do we share it. And that's where we've got these delivery share options. Here's that banner I was talking about where it says play a 46-second video. That's saved right in there. But we've got copy for email, copy for link. If you're going to a CRM or an email provider that's not Chrome, Outlook, whatever, and you want to paste it in, this copy for email button's the way to go. Why? Because then when you go into your system and you paste it in here, it automatically brings that animated preview. It's got the coding on the back end that will provide that. If your system doesn't, when you paste that in, if it looks like alphabet soup, then the system you're trying to paste it into doesn't have the HTML coding it needs. That's when you'll pick this copy link button. And just to show you, it does look a little differently here. It's just going to be a link now. So we want to make sure that we hyperlink that and we give some context in the text around it to let them know, I recorded this personal video for you. You can use it directly there. So those are the two different options. And I usually like to come in and close this window out if I'm recording multiple videos. That way I don't get confused which one's which. And I always recommend naming your video. That name that you put on the video is external facing. They will see that on the video player page. So we can use that to our advantage as well. So there we go. From a technical standpoint, that's how it kind of fits into your flow. You can record straight out of Outlook. You can record straight out of Gmail. We want to keep that nice and short, keep that concise, under 60 seconds. Honestly, with prospecting, as close to 30 seconds as you can is ideal. We want to do that. So I think this is a really, really powerful way that BombBomb will help you. You know, I talk about video in general a lot. All the stats we were talking about is not just BombBomb videos. That's videos universally. Use video. Whether you sign up and use BombBomb, of course, we want you here. We want you to be a client of ours. But if you're not, use video because video is effective. It works in prospecting. We already talked about why. BombBomb really provides these elements, making it efficient, making it quick, making it so that you can actually keep up with that process on a regular basis. That's what these pieces are going to do. So keep throwing your questions in, your chats in. It looks like most of that makes sense. It's mostly just where do I download this? How do I get it? So I'll post those links in the chat so you can click on those, okay? Okay, so what's next? Let's look at this idea of a formula. The other element that is so important from an efficiency standpoint is, what am I going to say? I don't want you coming in thinking, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to approach this on a regular basis. So I want to show you here a formula that you can use because I want this to be effective for you so that you can see how can I build this video in a way that's going to be effective from the recipient's point of view? Okay. So I gave you two different formulas you can think about. Some people like to think of it in a time frame, in a seconds mentality. Other people like to think about just like, what's the value I'm trying to get in? So let's go through each of these so you can see how they fit together. Honestly, they're very similar, just a different way to process it. One is the CARE formula. It's an acronym, right? So we're going to use the word care because we're trying to care for our recipient. We have value to provide them. So the way we're going to think about this, connect. We want to say their name. We want to reference their role, their company, something that's personal to that person. Why? Because we're taking the time to record a personal video for this person. We want them to know that we've also taken the time to research them, to get to know them, to understand them. We've got to show them that with the connect element here. Okay. Then acknowledge is recognize what they may be dealing with. Now, there's multiple ways you can play this and process this. I know if you are in the real estate space or you've got a lead generation system, oftentimes they will send it to multiple people. Great. This could be a chance where we acknowledge, hey, I know you're probably hearing from multiple people. I wanted to send you a video so you honestly got to know me quicker. And we could see if we mesh, if we work together, if it's something that we could help with. Acknowledge the situation that they're in. The other element is recognizing and acknowledging, why did we reach out to them? What did we see in their website? What did we see with their business that's something we think we can help solve? Acknowledge that, hey, I've worked with other companies just like yours, and I know this is something they've struggled with. Well, guess what? I've got a really interesting solution that I would like to talk with you about. That's when there's the relate, right? Share how others like them are solving it. What's the value we bring that has helped other people solve this issue that we just recognized? And then last but not least is the engage. What do we want them to do? What is the next step we want to use in this? So the 10 40 10, really similar, right? The initial 10, the hook, personalize the opener, name, context, empathy statement. Hey, empathy is like acknowledging. There's that correlation. Then that mid 40 seconds there is share one insight idea or question that's relevant to them. What is the value that we provide? Why is it worth it for them to schedule time with us? Why is it worth it for them to call us and have a conversation? It's because of this. It's because of that value. And then last but not least, the CTA, the call to action. We've got to make sure that it's clear. It's a verb, an action verb, so they know what to do. Schedule here, click here, visit here, call, right? Any of those action verbs. And then we want to make sure it's really singular what we're asking them to answer. If we just say, hey, call, text, email, let me know what you want to do next, no one's calling. We've got to say, hey, I've got Tuesday and Thursday available. Which day works better for you? Email me back and let me know. Now they know I want an email from them on Tuesday or Thursday. The more clear we are, the more precise, the more singular we are in that, the more likely we are to get an actual response on that CTA. So use these formulas. Take a screenshot of this, save this, hold this. This is going to be a great way for you to think about it. Honestly, once you sort of build this, these main three steps here, or these last three steps, are probably going to be really similar. The connect part is going to change with every individual person. But once we start to get this talk track, we can do that. Now you can take these seconds and narrow them down if you're trying to get closer to that 30 seconds. You can see my formula did it. I did it for 60 seconds, but that's the max we want to go. We want to keep nice and short there. Now, the other element that I want you to think about is most of us know that we need a lot of touches. We know that we need, what's the number? 8 to 12 touches before we can expect a response or expect somebody to schedule time with us. However, let's put ourselves in the recipient standpoint. How many of us want 8 emails from somebody we don't know? None of us. That's a really, really bad customer experience. It's annoying. We've all been on the recipient end of that. So I want to start introducing this idea of what we call an omni-channel approach. Now, most of us are probably doing this to some degree, but an omni-channel approach basically provides a cohesive, integrated, and seamless customer experience across all available platforms and touch points. So I want you to think about this. Text messages, emails, let's think of phone calls, right? Maybe social media, direct messaging. We're looking at different avenues that we can touch base with somebody. Why would I keep sending somebody an email after I've sent 7 emails and gotten no opens, no replies, no responses? Why would I send them another email? This person doesn't live here. They don't communicate here. They're not responding here. I've got to get more creative and use it in other ways, reach out in different ways. That's the idea of an omni-channel approach. So I want to show you an example here and some potential strategies on, we're going to talk about email and phone call. So those are the 2 channels that we're going to use right now. Let's assume we've got their phone number and we've got their email. There's 2 ways to approach this. And the way I want you to think about which one works for me is, what's my end goal? Best case scenario, after these 2 touches, do I want them to call me back and have a conversation? Or we're literally talking face to face, or do I want them to schedule an appointment with me where we can hop on Zoom or we can hop on a video conferencing system and talk through that? What's best for you? And that's how we're going to handle it. So let's think about this. Video first. If I'm sending a video email first and then calling, that's going to lead to an ultimate goal of hoping that they answer the phone call, right? So my video, that first email touch, is going to be to introduce me, put a face to the name, and we're also going to literally write the phone number we're going to be calling from. Why? I don't answer a single number I don't know on this, right? If I see an unknown number, in fact, I just updated my iOS and now they literally filter that out for me. If I don't know the numbers and they don't clarify why they're calling, I don't even get it. It doesn't even ring. It goes straight to my voicemail and doesn't bother me. I love that from my side. From your side, from a sales side, that makes it harder. So we've got to make sure we literally write out, hey, I'm going to be calling from this number. You can hold it up on your phone. We can write it in the text of the email because we want to associate when they see their phone ring and it's a number they don't know, but they see some numbers they recognize. We want them to picture our face, have that emotional response. We are emotional beings. We make emotional decisions. If oh shoot, yeah, that's Kevin. I just got his video. Maybe I'm more likely to answer that call. So that first, if we video first, we're sending that, we're face to the name, here's some value, here's why you should answer, and here's the number I'm calling from. The flip side, if I want them to schedule time with me, is I'm going to call first, I'm going to leave a voicemail. And the voicemail is all driving to not necessarily call me back, it's to, hey, I'm going to follow this up with a quick email and I'm going to put a video in that's just for you. I want you to open that email and watch the video. Now, when we send the email and we send the video with all the value and the content, and we've got the CTA that they can click in our video, now they're more likely to open that, watch the video, click the link, and actually access that CTA. Why? Because they've already heard from us in one way. So what I want you to think about this is we've got to make sure that our channels are working together. We're not just having all these separate kind of throwing paint at the wall and seeing what they might respond to. We're using them cohesively. And maybe if they don't respond to either of these, we try to find them on LinkedIn and we connect with them and send them a direct message on LinkedIn and we put a video in that. There's all sorts of different ways until we find how they want to respond and how they want to communicate, we keep trying. Now, the beautiful thing is if you do have it set up in a Gmail or in an Outlook, guess what? We can watch the tracking here and look at, oh my gosh, I sent the video email and I just saw they opened my email and they played the video. Now I'm going to call. We're using that to help dictate that next step as well, so that we're using it all to our advantage. So does that make sense? Cool. Okay. I see a lot of people going, oh my gosh, I like this. This is really good. I love this formula. Again, I will be sending you this deck. I'll be sending you this recording so you can rewatch it and engage as you need. But think about this. How do my touches work with each other? And what's my ultimate goal? What am I trying to drive towards? If it's a phone call, I'm going to do it one way. If it's scheduling time, I might do it another way. Okay. All right. So last but certainly not least, let's go over our takeaways because I want to make sure I leave some time for Q&A here so that we do this. One, hopefully you watched this and realized prospecting is actually really hard. It's tough. You are not alone. And we're really trying to fight through. How do we fight through that clutter? How do we fight through the digital noise, the digital pollution that we're working through? How do we work through those things? Well, video is a piece of that because it's how people want to engage. They don't want to engage with text. They're not going to read the text. They will watch videos. So this is how we're going to help. Video is going to get you more engagement. It's going to improve your responses. 81% higher open rate, 64% higher conversion rate when you have videos in your communication. So start using it. Start using it by connecting it to your systems. Get it in your Gmail, get it in your Outlook if you use those. If not, get it in your Chrome extension, get it in your Edge extension, wherever it works for you, do that. Because I promise you, the less hurdles it takes for you to get to recording, the more likely you are to do it. And then in turn, we're going to use the CTA feature. We're going to use those BombBomb pieces because the less hurdles it takes for them to take the next step, the more likely they are to do that. Okay. So we're going to spend some time here and answer some Q&A and those sort of things. If you are somebody that needs to jump off right now, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. We're so thankful for you. We love that you give us an hour of your time. Thanks for trusting us and trusting me in giving you some advice. Don't feel like you have to implement all of this. Take one or two of these bullet points, two of these pieces of information, these values, start implementing them now. Ultimately, it should be connected to your system, start sending out videos. And then, because we're going to have that efficiency, use one of the formulas on how you're going to start doing this. I want you to use this anytime you've got to reach out to somebody that doesn't know you as well or isn't expecting your message. That's how we're kind of thinking about prospecting in this. But thank you. Thank you for being part of the Bomb Bomb family. I love that we have several hundred people here wanting to learn, wanting to grow. Thank you for all of the stuff you all threw in chat to help each other out. I love the community that we have here. And I'm going to give some time for Q&A now. But if you need to jump, totally get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you.